Go ahead, sir.
Good morning, Judge. May it please the court, Mark Wasbury for plaintiff.
Your name? Let's let her get the. Okay. And Ms. Melvin, can you state your name, please, for me?
Sigrid Margaret.
Thank you. All right, this is plaintiff's motion for default and request for an order to reinstate the case and issue a judgment and order of eviction. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. And what's the basis of that?
Well, Judge, we entered into a CD. Ms. Melvin agreed to not throw things off her balcony. At the time, we were talking about mice, but now this time we received a complaint from another resident that she threw dirt off her balcony. I attached the email to the cups of dirt, several cups of dirt onto this resident and her dog. She was just outside below Miss Melvin's balcony, and I mean, that's worse than throwing mice off, I think.
Okay. There were two issues, I thought. One was the dirt, and then
So there was chicken underneath the balcony, which the dog rancid. There was an earlier incident where her dog ate chicken that was underneath the balcony, got sick. But and the other issue was when, on the day that it's alleged that she threw dirt down on the dog and this resident, there was also food underneath the balcony. When asked about it, there was also food under her apartment, and Max had eaten something. I asked her what it was, and she said she did not have to tell me. That's in the March 24 email correspondence from the resident to my client.
got it. All right. But with regard to, I guess, the food product, I'll call it, it was underneath the balcony area, but we don't know whether or not Miss Melvin did anything.
Well, certainly February, the earlier incident, there was no contact that I'm aware of between the other resident and Miss Melvin. There was some back and forth, according to this email, on the March 23rd date where Miss Melvin indicates, I don't have to tell you what it is. I would think somebody would respond if they didn't put it, I don't know, right? So,
right.
So I guess so. It's all throwing dirt down on somebody is certainly a serious incident, especially all agree that nothing will be thrown off the balcony.
All right, Melvin, what do you want to tell me? Oh. When did that come in? When did you send that?
That was when you came in. You came in to respond to the expectation to come back here.
I don't believe we received a copy.
I don't have a copy.
You didn't find?
It was put in the file.
It was put in the court file?
Yes. It's.
Do we have a copy?
I haven't seen.
Yeah, well, let me see it just to see if I can recognize it.
It was added in.
Okay, that was from you. Mr. Westbury, did you get a copy of it?
We have this one.
because it was entitled affidavit of default request for order of reinstatement. But I don't, okay, I saw this, but I'm not sure what to make of this.
Have extra copies. We'll give it to you.
Okay, you have an extra copy? Why don't we get one to Mr. Because what I have here, when I looked at this, was there were photos on it, but then it looks like part of a policy that's stricken through. Is that? Well, there are lines that are like there's asterisks or large asterisks next to certain provisions.
That was aiming to what I had that at the bottom. I had a copy of it in there, but
right, but okay, what am I supposed to make of this? I mean,
this is a response to their complaint of the food to dog.
all right, let me stop for a moment. Let's break it apart. Because there's the first part of the food. And I'm not sure that. Let me ask you this. Was there some dirt thrown off the balcony?
It was water. Watering pot.
It was what?
Water. A watering pot. She was trying to discourage the dog because the dog was running loose through the garden.
Snot, what happened after he didn't give you the driver's license? I stated that I did not have a right to stop him. Court does call the case People vs. Daniel. I anticipate one witness in each case. Alright. So, it should be alright. Alright. Witnesses are ordered sequestered for what that matter. Actually, Your Honor, I have a you may have yes. I have an issue I have been requesting the last time I was here requested that the prosecution provide explanation for the undue delay. Your Honor, my advice to Mr. Megu was that I'd be handling the examination today, so just for purposes of the record, I'm advising you not to make a statement on the record as I'm well. I do have to also want to provide notice that this case is being removed under 28 U.S.C. 1455 by the Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25, 12 to 440 and are due to due process violations that I'm, clears throat, facing. I don't know what you're talking about. The case has been removed. It's on sorry, I'm providing notice of removal. Under case number 25-12-12-440. Have you talked that over with your attorney? Or I let him know? Your Honor, and my advice was I'm not going to be joining in any collateral motions or actions that I would address the case. Are you aware of any motion that seeks to take this case to federal court? I'm not sure how that would even happen. Right, Your Honor? And Mr. Megu told me that he has been seeking that action, but I informed him that I'm not going to federal law and I would not be joining him in any of those actions. Just providing notice. Okay, I don't know what the notice does, but I don't have something in writing indicating some snot procedural aspect to it or anything. Besides the court not I give this to you now. I would advise against I don't even know what is notice of removal pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1455 criminal. What does that statute read? Or the criminal proceedings.
Okay, so I don't, couple things. Okay, so I don't, what kind of dog is it? What kind of dog is it? There's a picture.
There's
I see it.
This
I see it. That's okay. They say marijuana. That's okay.
There is a.
So is the picture with the dog, is that the dog's owner? Is the picture with the dog, is that the dog's owner?
It's an accommodation.
Pardon?
My client tells me the dog is,
Pardon?
by way of accommodation. The dog is, by way of accommodation.
Got it. Okay.
Got it. Be on a leash when. Or be on a leash when. Looking to their handbook. Areas. Looking to their handbook.
Okay, so is I'm to understand what, okay, so is I'm to understand the dog wasn't on a leash. The dog wasn't on a leash. So what was, and so okay, before the water what happened, what was the dog doing? Before the water happened, what was the dog doing?
Backyard, through the garden area.
Doing what? Doing what?
Open pee on the garden bed. Garden pee doesn't want the dog in the bed. Into the head there. Doesn't want the dog open into the head there. Dog's supposed to be in. Okay, so let's assume. Okay, so let's sake of argument, all of that's true. For the sake of argument, all of that's true. Wouldn't the response be to write a letter to management asking? Write a letter to management asking, because if you had written a letter to management, the part in here about the size of the dog, what they said today, and like is likewise somehow an accommodation that was. They would have told you what they said today, and that is that then it was somehow an accommodation that was done for the dog. So, which and then would excuse it from the policies. You would have given management, and then an opportunity to do something prior to engaging in some type of self-help. An opportunity to do something prior to engaging in some type of self-help. No, but before the water. I went down and explained what happened.
No, but before the water. I mean, if I take it to an extreme, you can't, because somebody else might be breaking the rules. If I take it to an extreme, you can't because somebody else might be breaking the rules. I'm going to shoot the dog because they're breaking the rules. Can't also. I realize that's not running through there and decide I'm going to shoot the dog because they're breaking the rules. You can't. I realize that's not what happened here. When people begin to engage in self-help to rectify problems, that's where we get when people begin to engage in self-help to rectify problems, so that's where was there a letter sent to management? Okay, and so was there a letter sent to management? About the dog running through and people about the dog running through and
the response in the conversation was that the dog had full rating. The whole yard response in the conversation was that the dog had good relationship between the yard. Complex in my mouth when it falls on the relationship between you and.
Oh, whether or not it falls on deaf ears or not, I don't know if that's the issue. The issue whether or not it falls on deaf ears or not, I don't know if that's communicated with regarding the issue really is. Was management communicated with regarding this issue or problem?
I told her it's like it wasn't a great idea about the water, you know.
Pardon?
I told her it's like it wasn't a great idea, but dangerous. She was just trying to discourage the dog.
I get all of that.
Dangerous. She was just trying to discourage the dog.
So there was no communication to management about the problem that. So there was no communication to management about the problem. So now my question is with the dog. How many times is okay? So now my question is dog in the garden. How many times is how many times is this dog in the garden area?
Behind the community home.
Briefly.
Where they're supposed to do their business. Area behind the community home. Where they're supposed to do their business. In front of the building. And they're not supposed to come where our gardens are. In front of the building. The windows of the gardens are right there, but the dogs go underneath them. Windows of the gardens are right there, but the dogs go underneath them. And now they got to go around the door, going to the backyard. Matter of fact, right now they got a note on the door, going to the backyard. Take care of your pet.
Management is aware that the dogs are above the right rules. Management is aware that the dogs are above the right rules, like the problem. You know, for the rules, they're not going to be like the problem. you know, for the rules.
Okay, was there a particular thing with this dog? Okay, was there a particular, that's the problem, or is it a bunch of dogs that are the problem? That's the problem, or is it a bunch of dogs that are the problem?
Right, around.
Now they're running through the gardens. We got 40 garden boxes put up by the. Now they're running through the gardens. We got 40 garden boxes put up by the.
Oh, I get the garden box. Clean it up?
That's pick it up.
She does? You said when the dog poops, she cleans it up? Okay. You said when the dog poops, she cleans it up? Some of the time she does. Okay.
Well, I'm out there watching the dog.
But some of the time she does.
To do in 24 hours. I'm out there watching the dog. I got all this paperwork to take care of. To do in 24 hours. I got all this paperwork to take care of. This is, put out there March in 2024. This is, stop, going in 2024. Cigarettes in the back court. Stop, cigarettes in the March 2024. Anti-slavery and books. This is from March 2024.
Who is that from?
It's not a continuous
Management.
issue with.
So management was telling the residents not to do certain things. Management. Okay. So management was telling the residents not to do certain things. Okay. So no, I believe you. It's just okay. No, I believe you. It's just let me ask you this. Did you put food out there? Let me ask you this.
No, I don't put food out there.
Okay. Did you put food out there?
No, I don't put food
I remember.
out there.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Miller. I remember. Hold on. I just asked you a question. You didn't. It's okay. You didn't put food out there. I just asked you a question. The dog ate. You didn't. It's okay. You didn't put food out there. I know it sounds like a weird dog. I just need you to tell me yes or no. Did you put food out there?
No, I don't.
I know it sounds like a weird. Okay, I just need you to tell me yes or no. Did you put food out there?
Just
No,
no.
I don't know food out there.
Okay. All right.
Well, just no.
No.
Okay. All right. How long when you threw the water, how long was it? How long that the dog was out when you threw the water? How long was it that the dog was out there?
Outside.
The
Long as
dog
the
ran
other
through
running through the
there. When I,
garden.
yesterday?
No, when as the other running through the garden.
Yes, the dog is over there.
No, when you
I'm on
put
the
the
wall.
long, the running around.
When the dog is over there, I'm on the
How
wall.
long was he running around the yard? Half hour, was he running
Well, out
around the
for
yard?
10-15 minutes, the
Half
whole big
hour,
yard.
hour?
So, out for 10-15 minutes, the whole big yard.
Okay.
So,
And so it's true that there's a. And so it's that there's an area for pets that's separate and apart. That there's an area for pets that's separate and apart. Okay.
One big area, sir.
okay,
Are the dogs allowed in the where the garden boxes are? The dogs allowed in the where the garden boxes are?
It's not blocked off for anything. It's not blocked off. For
Are
anything.
they? Okay, I get it. It's not. Are they supposed? Are the dogs supposed to only use one part of the area? Are they supposed? Are the dogs supposed to only use one part of the area, or no?
There's pictures in there showing the designated dog area. There's pictures in there.
Well, but hold it. You're saying there's a designated dog area. How's it? Well, but hold it. You're saying there's a designated dog area. Okay. How's it designated? But is that, does it block off a certain area or is that we're doing? But is that, does it block off a certain area? It's got a what?
The rain posts out there.
It's got a what?
Rain posts with the basket. Do
Yeah.
the And, that's.
Yeah, but is it, that's what I'm asking is, in your mind, is it blocked off? Yeah, but is that area
That's what I'm
blocked off from
asking
the
is,
garden area? In your mind, is it blocked off?
Okay.
Is that area blocked off
In the
from the
rules
garden
that the
area?
dogs must be on the
Okay.
leash, they, they're in the rules that the dogs which be somebody has walk, no, they're in the front of the area. Which be somebody has walk, no. You know, when the designated area is at ends,
Okay, so let me ask you
you know, when the
this.
designated area
Does-
is at ends.
Okay, so let me ask you this. When you threw the
Does-
water, was the dog off the leash? When you threw the water, was the dog off the
Okay.
leash? And
What?
it was?
I don't pull,
Okay. Go ahead. What were you gonna say, Miss
What?
Nolan?
I don't
What
pull,
were you gonna say? Go
I
ahead.
don't
What were you
pour a
gonna say, Miss
whole
Nolan?
bucket on the dog.
What
When
were
I
you gonna
water
say?
my plants,
I
some
don't
of it, you
pour a
know, when I go
whole
from one
bucket
part
on
to
the
another,
dog.
my
When I
drop
water my
comes.
plants,
So the
some
dog
of it,
doesn't
you know,
get
when I go from
wet,
one part to
but
another,
Papa
my
Billy
drop
gets a
comes.
drop on
So
it.
the dog doesn't
No, I
get
don't stand
wet.
out,
Okay,
but
so
Papa Billy
let me
gets
ask
a
you
drop
this.
on it.
When the
No, I
water
don't
got on
stand
the
out.
dog,
So
were you
let me
downstairs
ask
or
you
were you
this.
on your balcony? When the water
On the
got on the
balcony.
dog,
Okay.
were you
So
downstairs
you're watering
or
your
were you on
plant,
your
you see the
balcony?
dog going
It's on the
through,
balcony.
and you throw
Okay.
some water. So you're watering
Well,
your plant, you see
My
the dog
balcony
going
is on the
through,
third floor.
and
The
you throw
dog
some
Right.
water.
is on the first floor. My
Right.
balcony is on the third balcony. The dog
Right.
is on the first floor.
Right.
It's under the balcony. But on
Okay.
the first floor,
Right.
balcony is over.
I got
So
you.
the dog is underneath
Okay.
there. The
Right.
balcony gets a drop of
I
water.
got you.
So it's not like I'm turning on the water hose. His parent gets a drop of water. I like the dog. So it's not like I'm turning on the water hose.
I'm not,
I like the dog.
I'm not saying you took out a garden
okay.
hose or a
Ms.
fire
Wellman,
hose and got the dog. I'm not saying any of that.
You didn't say
You
you
took
took
out a garden hose or a fire hose and got the dog. I'm not saying any of that. Okay. You just said something, and I was going to kind of go there. Do you have a problem with the dog? I was going to kind of go there. Do you have a problem
What are
with the
your
dog
issues with the
at
dog?
all?
I don't have an issue with the dog.
What
He's
are
a
your
nice
issues
German
with the dog?
Shepherd, 150
I don't have an
pounds.
issue with
And
the
when I
dog.
see him in
He's a
person,
nice
and he
German
lets me pet
Shepherd,
him.
150
Okay.
pounds.
And when
I
I
don't
see
do
him in person, and he
Okay,
lets me
no, I'm
pet him.
not saying you do. That's why I had to ask the question.
I don't
I
do
just,
animals.
some
Okay,
people
no,
do,
I'm
and
not
some people
saying you
don't.
do.
That's why I had to ask the question. I just, some
next
people do
question
and some
to you,
people don't. My next question
Who's
to
the
you,
owner of the
though,
dog?
is,
Tracy Stacy.
all right, who's
Let
the
me
owner
ask
of
you
the
this.
dog? Give me an honest answer.
Tracy Stacy.
Do you
All
like
right.
her? Let me ask you this. Give me an honest
Looks
answer.
like she's from Grand
Do you like
Blanc
her?
and lives in Corners Four. But
Looks
like she's from Grand Blanc. So we have a kind of Corners Four. But where he used to
Okay.
live.
Yeah.
So we have a kind of residence council right now.
Okay, okay,
And she's
So,
the president
no,
of our residence
I don't really have
council
any
right now.
issues.
okay.
Any of our tenants.
No,
Some of them
Snot, what happened after he didn't give you the driver's license? I stated that I did not have a right to stop him. Court does call the case People versus Daniel. I anticipate one witness in each case. Alright. So, it should be alright. Alright. Witnesses are ordered sequestered for what that matter. Actually, Your Honor, I have a you may have yes. I have an issue I have been requesting the last time I was here requested that the prosecution provide explanation for the undue delay. Your Honor, my advice to Mr. Megu was that I'd be handling the examination today, so just for purposes of the record, I'm advising you not to make a statement on the record as well. I do have to also want to provide notice that this case is being removed under 28 U.S.C. 1455 by the Eastern District of Michigan under case number 25, 12 to 440 and are due to due process violations that I'm, clears throat, facing. I don't know what you're talking about. The case has been removed. It's on sorry, I'm providing notice of removal. Under case number 25-12-12-440. Have you talked that over with your attorney? Or I let him know? Your Honor, And my advice was I'm not going to be joining in any collateral motions or actions that I would address the case. Are you aware of any motion that seeks to take this case to federal court? I'm not sure how that would even happen. Right, Your Honor? And Mr. Megu told me that he has been seeking that action, but I informed him that I'm not going to federal law and I would not be joining him in any of those actions. Just providing notice. Okay, I don't know what the notice does, but I don't have something in writing indicating some snots, procedural aspect to it or anything. Besides the court's note, I give this to you now. I would advise against. I don't even know what is notice of removal pursuant to 28 U.S.C. 1455 criminal. What does that statute read? Or the criminal proceedings?
Do you have any issues with any of the tenants? Stay away from them. Right now, we have a lot of old people that don't even come out of their apartments. Don't even come out of their apartments. We can't even turn on the TV in the We can't even turn on the TV in the cooking room. She won't.
The clicker is still an issue? The clicker is still an issue?
Don't answer. Never mind. Don't answer.
Okay. Okay.
Can I respond to something? Can I respond to something? Oh, this is a support animal. We can't tell a resident that the support animal is not allowed to tell a resident that the support animal is not allowed to go somewhere.
Right.
They're in the document that was presented to the court. Now I have a document that was presented to the court. Now I have a copy of it. Please note, watering can was used to deter animal away from the garden. Can was used to deter animal. The garden area is a convenience. The garden area is a convenience. We don't amenity for the rest. The garden area in. We don't have to put the garden area in. But we do. The fact that leafy dogs. So I don't know if they're going in there or not, but if they are, I don't know if they're going in there or not, but if they are, should be cleaning up after them. They sure should. Should be cleaning up after them. They sure should. Goes back to we shouldn't throw stuff off the balcony. Goes back to we shouldn't throw stuff off the balcony of no danger to her at that. Control the dog that's of no danger to her at that. She says she likes the dog.
Yeah.
She says she likes the dog.
Accommodation.
Yeah. I don't hate the dog just because he runs that. I don't hate the dog just because he runs that away.
I'm sorry, sir.
Do they mean by an accommodation dog? Do they
Under
mean by an accommodation
The
dog?
Americans with Disabilities Act and
The Americans
other
with Disabilities
provisions
and
other someone needs a emotional support animal. Someone needs a emotional support animal. Then they're entitled, like, provided they meet certain criteria, provided they meet certain criteria, and so that animal to have that animal, and so that animal. If I've got a weight restriction of 20, they can't enforce that. That person is entitled to have that. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
I can imagine her issues large. I can imagine her stable person.
Well, sir, I'm not going to get it. Well, sir, because I'm not going to get it. There are various reasons because why there are various people may have why support animal. People may have it could be an emotional support animal, so that it could be an emotional support animal, so that obviously would be something. It's not like it's somebody who is sighted. It's not like it's somebody who would have sighted animal. That's an easy one that you can kind of figure out. That's an easy one. There are other issues in terms of emotional. There are other issues in terms of other things. Emotional support and other things. Pardon? It could be. Pardon? It could be.
Restricted their funding calls or less too. Restricted their funding calls or less too.
Sir, you know, you can sit there and argue that all you want. You know, you can sit there and argue that off of that dog. If they're you can argue it, you're going to lose dog. You can argue it, you're going to debate about whether or not get into a big debate about that animal, whether or not can be there. If the animal has an accommodation, if the person has the accommodation to have that animal, the person has the accommodation to have that animal, they're entitled to have that animal. Period. Period. Miss Melvin, here's what I'm going to do. Is there anything else I'm going to do on this? Is there anything else for me to say?
Well.
No, thank you, Judge.
Well. Supposedly, Seven's meeting, supposedly, subject, Seven's meeting. Subject request to have a
Seven.
appointed request to have a
Seven.
appointed
Uh,
representative.
About our 10th meeting, but that's about our 10th
I was
meeting,
listening to what he
but that's
says
okay.
first. I was listening to what he said. I would listen to what he said. I would listen to what he was going to say first. I would listen to what he was going to say first.
Okay.
Oh, I'm
Was
sorry.
there anything else you want to tell me
Okay.
about the water?
Was there
and the
anything
dog?
else
you want to tell me about the water and the dog?
Like I said, I don't drop the bomb water.
Like I said, I don't
If
drop
I'm out on my balcony water, if I'm out on my balcony water, he's right under the balcony, and he's right under the balcony.
Yeah, but he's
I drop down here,
yeah, but
couple
he's
drops on him. Couple drops on him. So I don't do it out of hatred or any other motivation. Or any other motivation. Human being have
Okay.
to make up. I've been there since two.
oh, that was 6.
I've been there since two.
That was
Any
6.
kind of issue since she came into the office. Since she came into the office. And they started with mice. And they started 23, 20, in April 23, 25. He was part of
the issues at hand. Consistent with the issues at hand.
Okay.
You have no.
All right. All right. So, Ms. Melvin, here's how this is going to work. So, Ms. Melvin, here's how this is going to work. That here's how this is going to work. The animal that's there. The animal is that's there. Is the plaintiff's testimony is supported by the plaintiffs. So there's not a whole lot that can be done. So there's not a whole lot that can be done. Also, as I'm understanding it, the pet area and the garden area are not separate. Pet area and the garden area are not separate.
Yeah. Yeah. It's where the garden starts. And it's where the garden starts. And it's right up here.
Yeah, but you may be drawing a line. Yeah, but you may be drawing a line. Area, as I'm to understand it, is all one area. As I'm to understand it, is all one area.
It's the fact of the building.
Right. It's all one area. Right. So it's all one area. Dogs can't. So the dogs aren't prohibited from being in a certain area. Aren't prohibited from being in a certain area. Hold on. Hold on. As I'm to understand it, they're not prohibited. As I'm to understand it, they're not in that area. Here's the other problem. In that area. Here's the other problem. The owner of that dog is walking. The owner of that dog is walking through garden area. Garden area. That dog is entitled to go with the owner. That dog is entitled to go with the owner.
No dog in the garden area. That's according to Grower Holt. That's according to Grower Holt.
All right, Miss Melvin, I'm going to tell you, the dogs are allowed. All right, Miss Melvin, I'm going to tell you, the dogs are allowed. There's nothing that prohibits the dogs from being there. There's nothing that prohibits the dogs from being there. The dogs are allowed to be there. The dogs are allowed to be there.
Make sure you want to picture.
What's it of? What's it of?
Says dog area.
Okay, but what? Where's the boundary? No, don't just tell me. Okay, I'll look at your picture, but where's the boundary? Don't just tell me. Okay, I'll look at your picture, but where's the boundary? I can have an area that has two different uses. That has and I can say this is a dog area that may be opposed to dog area. Another that area may be opposed to way away. Another area you have to take your dog way away. This is where you have to take your dog. You're making up your own rules, and I'm telling you, you're making up your own rules, and I'm telling you, that's not the way it works.
Working for 20-some years. That's the way it's been working for 20-some years.
Okay, then it stops today. I guess. So here's how I'm going to resolve it. I'm going to find that. Here's how I'm going to resolve it. I have no way. I'm going to find that. I don't.
Other than
I
her
have no way of
statement, and I would agree with
knowing.
Mr. Wasbury.
Other than her statement, and I would agree if somebody accuses you of something. It's a weird statement to make if somebody accuses you of something, but I don't know that I can do anything with that. I don't know that I can do anything with that. She admits to the water, not dirt. There. She admits to the water, not dirt. Off your balcony. You can't throw things off your balcony. You got that? You got that?
Well, can we talk about how many inches of windows? Because the dirt went to the balcony. So, onto the balcony. So, if there's a dead mouse there, it goes down. If there's a dead mouse there, it goes down.
Issue at hand. Just stick to the issue at hand. It's in the vase. Mouse is gone. It's in the vase. Mouse is gone. Your paper style.
Now, Miss Melvin.
Your paper style.
Now, Miss Melvin. I'm looking to not take the most drastic action that I can take. The most drastic action that I can take. But you have to understand and not be fighting about the fact you can't throw things off your balcony. About the fact you can't throw things off your balcony.
He's basically saying you cannot throw stuff off. He's saying you cannot throw stuff water. Anything. Water, no, you're not throwing anything.
I'm not. Okay.
Not throwing food.
I'm not.
Not throwing food. You understand why he did it. You understand why he did it, but don't do it again. But don't, we understand why you did it, but we understand why you did it, but don't do it again.
Thank you.
I'm a drilling the rest of the day.
Thank you.
I'm a drilling the rest of the day.
Miss Melvin, do you understand? Miss Melvin, do you understand that you can't throw things off the balcony? You can't throw things off the balcony.
I don't understand that. And I don't so think of shoot on that mouse. Shoot on that mouse. And the office didn't come pick up any of them. The office didn't come pick up any of them mice in my apartment.
But here's Miss Melvin, here's the issue. But here's whether it be water, here's the issue. Whether it be a piece of paper, whether it be anything, you can't throw anything off the balcony. Whether it be anything, you can't throw anything off the balcony.
No problem.
All right. The dogs.
No problem.
All right. The dogs, even if you think that the dog shouldn't be in that area. You think that the dog shouldn't be in that area. Right?
That's the way it's always.
The whole notion of two wrongs don't make a right. The whole notion of two wrongs don't make a right, meaning has to apply. If they're wrong in that, meaning you can't do something wrong to try to correct it. You can't do something wrong to try to correct it. Okay? And so what I'm going to do with this particular instance this is going to be a warning to I don't want to see anything else off that balcony. I don't want to see anything else off that balcony. Nothing. Those dogs are entitled to be there. Those dogs are entitled to be there. If you wish, say a stricter enforcement or something different, then write a letter to something different. You may think they don't listen to you, that's fine. You may write a letter, listen to you, that's fine. But write a letter and tell them this is the problem we're having. And tell them this is the problem we're having. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chalk this up to a warning. I'm not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chalk this up to a warning. I'm not going to reinstate the case for Victor. And something else has gone off that balcony, and something else has gone off that balcony, it's going to be a whole different story, Miss Melvin.
Well, can I plastic or something on the balcony so plastic or something on the balcony so it doesn't
You're not entitled to have you're not entitled to have railing, anything along, you mean along the railing? You mean to put a barrier along your railing on your balcony? A barrier along your railing on your balcony? Can't do that. All right. You just have to be careful. If you're sweeping, you just have to be careful. Put it in a dustpan, throw it in the garbage. Put it in a dustpan, throw it in the garbage. Yeah, don't sweep it off the balcony. Yeah, don't sweep it off the balcony.
Off the balcony. Because it'll just flow back there and falls down. Because it'll just flow back there and falls down. And it's upstairs, sweep on your belt. It falls down upstairs, back. It falls down where it hurts back. It's coming from. She was asking where it hurt. So it's just a continuing thing. You sweep your balcony, continue thing. You sweep your balcony. Use the dustpan. Thank you with all that.
Oh, sure, it's that nice.
Yes, it is.
Thank you, sir,
You're
it's
welcome.
that nice.
Yes, it is.
May I give you
You're
an
welcome.
inside story? May I give you an inside story of the, when this issue started? Yeah, when this issue started. I lost 30 pounds. I lost 30 pounds. My blood pressure is 100 over 200. My blood pressure is 100 over 200. I'm 84 years old. I shouldn't have. I'm 84 years old. I shouldn't have to do this. I haven't had this kind of communication. I haven't had this kind of communication or anything. I contacted heart. Everybody contacted heart. My state road, I talked to him too. My state road, and explained the whole situation. And explained the whole situation. We are 170 We are 170 afraid to come out of the apartment. Afraid to come out of the apartment. There's no place for them to sit. There's no place for them to speak. In the laundry room for 6 months. In the laundry room for 6 months to fix it. We had nobody here to fix it. We had no heat in the one unit doesn't work, it just blows cold air. One unit doesn't work, it just blows cold air. Who's gonna come and help us, senior? Who's gonna come and help us, senior? I went to City Hall every month. I went to City Hall every month. And in fact, he just passed the bill in Congress, passed the elderly care in Congress, seniors, elderly care act, seniors, all this stuff act coming up, all this stuff about coming up. Congress made a bill about. Congress made a bill. That's what it up.
Okay.
That's what it up.
Okay, well, let's hope that can correct some of it. Well, let's hope that right now correct some of it. Okay, I just need you to right now. I just need you to not. All right. Throw things off the balcony.
Okay, no problem.
All right. Okay.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Put it all away.
Okay.
Put it all eviction.
Okay.
They called it eviction. They took my 1,000 books away. They took my 1,000 books away. And they called it eviction.
All right. Anything else, plaintiff? All right.
Judge.
Anything else, plaintiff? Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. All right. Melvin, take care of yourself. All right. Melvin, take care of yourself.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We are in recess and not done. We're in recess and not done.